What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Shorts Brewing Company, and they're out of both Bel Air and Elk Rapids, Michigan, and this is their Sticky Icky Icky. So they're calling this an American India Pale Ale that comes in at 7.1% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs in the time of review. This bottle is just over 1 month old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx, for hooking me up with this one. I'll post a link in the description box to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies Jeff sent my way. He sent me a bunch of hop-forward beers this time around, and yeah, this is the first one that I'll be reviewing of the bunch, and I can't wait to get into this one, so thank you very much, Jeff. Now, when I saw Jeff post his check-in on Untappd, he referenced a late 90s song from Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and, you know, 9.5 plus 4 pennies, and, you know, Snoop drops the Sticky Icky Icky line in there, but yeah, hopefully this is very dank. I'm hoping anyway. This one is brewed with, I believe it is Amarillo, Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic hops. Sounds delicious to me. Basically all of my favorite hops, and yeah, let's get into it. So, crack this one open. I like Shorts. I haven't had a lot of their hop forward beers, honestly, but I like what they do, and this one's relatively fresh, so let's get it into a glass and see what we got going on here. So yeah, that's pouring out like an old school, you know, American IPA. It has that, you know, that orange, that orange, brassy, copperish look to it. It's, you know, it has some haze on it, maybe a little bit of chill haze. This is about 15-20 minutes out of the fridge. Has about a half finger of an off-white, creamy looking colored head. I mean, when I swirl these up like this, it's usually, yeah, it starts, taking on characteristics of the base beer, so it gets a little cream color, but pretty much, yeah, I'd say like, we'll go eggshell white for the color of the head. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get in the nose. Yeah, it's dank. Yeah, big dank. There's a resinous pine character here in addition to just like this really dank herbaceous note. There's some underlying like grapefruit, ruby red grapefruit, a little bit of sweeter, grapefruit, but also a little bit of like the pith and the peel, a little bitter in grapefruit as well. Touch of melon, peach and apricot, stone fruits. But yeah, that resinous pine dank character is kind of the predominant note in here, and it's accentuated by those underlying citrus and stone fruit characters. A little bit of malt character too, like a slight white bread touch of caramel thing going on. But overall, it smells pretty good. It smells like an older, like West Coast style IPA. That's what it smells like to me. Maybe a little bit more fruity than that, but yeah, it smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again, Jeff. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. The cool thing about this is I felt like, based on the nose and based on like what was hitting me up front, I thought this was going to have like a pretty substantial bitterness to it, like a big just like pine resin kick, and it really doesn't. It's there, but it's very minute. It's very subtle. Right front, bodies medium, maybe a touch over medium. It has a little bit of a heft behind it, a little bit of viscosity at 7.1%, so maybe drinks a little bit bigger than it is based on the body. Mouthfeel, it's carbonated, but it has a nice soft and smooth character to it. Yeah, definitely carbonated, but there's a nice soft smoothness too as well. So it's appropriately carbonated. Maybe not for a West Coast style IPA or older American IPA, but it like bridges the gap between, like say, a West Coast IPA and a New England style mouthfeel. You still get the soft, smooth characteristics you get from New England style with a slight crispness that you get from a West Coast style. The beer itself, though, is just really nice and super easy to drink at 7.1%. Right front, getting a little bit of that bready, slightly caramel malt thing going on. Pass through the palate, that ruby red grapefruit for me, really prevalent in this one. Touch of melon, that stone fruit, like peach apricot, almost mango-esque type of fruitiness hits me mid-palate. And as it carries on, that pine resin comes to the forefront, and just there's a nice dankness, like just we'll say an herbaceous dankness to it. But again, in the nose, it was screaming sticky, icky, icky way more than in the taste for me personally. The finish is quite balanced. There is a mild to moderate bitterness along with a pretty solid sweetness. This doesn't really finish too dry for my palate. There's a little bit of dryness. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. It's like a semi-dry finish. It doesn't have a ton of residual sweetness or anything. So it finishes more dry than sweet, but it's not too dry for my palate personally. Yeah, it's a scary drinkable. 7.1%. This is going down like water, not because of the body. It's like water. It's so easy to drink. There's enough complexity here to keep me interested, but at the same time, it's not like a chore to drink. There isn't too much going on. It's not fatiguing or weighing down my palate. I'm just taking it down. Each sip is very enjoyable. And while this is not the most flavorful IPA I've had recently, I think it's one of the more drinkable and balanced ones. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of like old school meets new school. You get a lot of those old West Coast style or just American IPA characteristics merging with like the newer style. You get a little bit of the fruitiness from your New England style. You get a little bit of the soft smoothness from the mouthfeel you get from those as well. So I think this is a good, like a hybrid beer for me. Solid beer though. So Sticky Icky Icky from Shorts. I'm going to go straight 4 out of 5. Good beer. Really easy to drink. I could see like buying a 6-pack of this and just drinking this over maybe a couple days and just really enjoying it, like sitting down watching a sporting event or maybe a movie and just having 2 or 3 of these, and you're feeling good by the end of it, but you're not hammered. And it's not, like I said, it's not going to fatigue or weigh down your palate because there isn't too much going on in this one. It's not too heavy on the palate. It's not crushing it. It's not a palate destroyer by any means. So yeah, I really do enjoy this one. Now, value and availability, I'm going to leave that to Jeff. I just know that Shorts gets distro outside of Michigan. I know Ohio, maybe Pennsylvania, places like that. I don't know what this one costs. I'm not going to guess because I always say I'm not going to guess, and then literally 5 seconds later, I'm guessing the price. So I'm not going to guess. So Jeff, let me know what you paid for this one. Let me know. I don't think you've ever mentioned specifically the distro on this one, Jeff, as far as you know when it comes to Shorts in Michigan, but I'd imagine you can find this in most bottle shops across the state. So let me know, Jeff. Thank you for sending it, by the way. Awesome that you sent this one my way. Really cool to try. So that, again, that was Shorts Sticky Icky Icky, and I give it a 4 out of 5. I've had this one before. Let me know what you think about it. As I said, 7.1%. This drink's like, it's like 5.5 just from an alcohol perspective. I really don't taste anything in my chest, on the palate. It's fantastic from that point of view. So anyway, thanks again, Jeff, for this one. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review. Till the next one, cheers.